How's it going? Straight out the sewer crew out here in some random hobo shack. And we're going to be talking about the Suicide Sagas and Kill Yourself Part 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 today. Just real quick, probably like a minute for each one. Here it is, what it do. Back here with another food review. So, up on Math Music Mine, I started the week of suicide because I figured 5 releases in 5 days would be a good idea, and then trying to put a video on top is fun. The Suicide Boys came out with 5, count them, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco releases back in May, with 3 tracks each. Each Kill Yourself part, whether you want 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, are very different from each other though. I want to start with at least the order I picked online. So I started with number 12, which is the Dark Glacier Saga, and this is the one that features the sample from Gangland, which has the New Orleans, and it kind of opens up to a more personal approach, I would say, from the Suicide Boys, which isn't really something that they've never done before, but it's also something that is a welcome approach, I believe, at least in the way that they change up their style so consistently. The Dark Glacier Saga is kind of more of a, I would say, it's mostly sung, honestly, like most of the verses here. They're well put together, and I think that this isn't the best saga, but I think this is still a great release of material. From the songs Autobahn and even Second Hand. Probably the opening track, Autobahn, would be my favorite, though. I would say that was the one that kind of struck home, just with the verses, and I just love that like 808 bass that comes in right as soon as the sample finishes. And I would say that they did a good job of also picking the singles. That's definitely apparent as well on the later releases, the later sagas. 12 was something that I kind of wanted to start with just because I feel like it was so approachable, and it wasn't really something that was as heavy as 11 or even 15, or even 14 for that matter. I think that definitely my favorite one is 11, just because of how outrageous it is and how aggressive. But the other ones still stand equally, I would say, at least production-wise and lyrical-wise, that they still manage to hold on their own. So the Atlanta Saga is less of a charge, a pouncing kind of animal act, and it's more of it's more docile, I would say. The track "Oh Lord, I Have My Doubts" is a section that's insightful, I think. It has some material that is kind of balancing on past releases from Suicide Boys, but the assault is kind of toned down real well, and it's acting more as a piece of the puzzle rather than just being a standout centerfold. And then I love the lines that Ruby and Scrim are throwing out here, especially on the 11th saga, the Kingdom Come saga. That has some of my favorite verses, but the ethereal voices are here, rising synths, and the hi-hats that clap along. I mean, everything is here that makes a Suicide Boys track, or a Suicide Boys EP or a record or whatever you would like to call them, a Suicide Boys production. And to the 14th saga, I'm just hearing noises now. I'm probably going to be murdered out here. This is not my chair. This was already here. So moving on to the Kill Yourself Part 14, the Vulture Saga. This is where my favorite lyrics come in as well, where Scrim has that verse, "Sluts wanna suck dick, I hit 'em with that drop kick." This is where their aggressive side shows. All the tracks present on the 14th saga are very like angry, seem very vengeful. It's similar to the way that the 11th saga is, and the way that it just like is so overly aggressive and overly assertive, and that's what I liked the most is that they balance it out with the calm, kind of gentle waves. Well, gentle is the wrong term to use, but the more gentle waves of their first sagas. 12 and 13 are kind of steps away from that really aggressive. Like 11 went super aggressive, and then 12 and 13 kind of stepped away from that. Then 14 and 15 kind of rebalanced it and came back into that aggressive light. I mean, even the song titles here on the 14th saga are, it's called Fuck, Venom, and the other one is Pump Fake, which kind of doesn't resonate as well as the other two, I think. Fuck and Venom are just standout tracks and could really just become something on their own. They don't really need even to be put together to be great tracks. And this is what I was really excited for, was like to see how they were gonna try and make. Is that nigga jet ski? But I was really excited to see how they were going to try and balance everything out. Then moving on to the 15th saga, which is the final step from Suicide Boys. This has the very powerful track Pictures, which was the single released by them several weeks before the sagas came out. May 26th, I mean, to release 15 songs for free is pretty insane to just listen to as an artist. I mean, any person that says they don't have fan appreciation is just insane. And I met them when they came to Pittsburgh. They were about the nicest two people I've ever met in my entire life that were artists. So friendly. I mean, they'd probably give you the shirt off their back if you asked. And please come back to Pittsburgh, is all I gotta say. Anyway, Drowned in it, which I think is very fitting because I'm surrounded by water and the river. This is kind of the final closing on the sagas, but it's not going to be the final chapter. They've already teased new music, and I'm excited for that as well. Anything they do I'm very excited for it. So Styrofoam and Withdrawals is here. Both Scrim and Ruby, they kind of do a tag team. I like the way that they set their tracks up where the openings are different or the closings are different, or at least they're still playing with the mechanic of who's going to go first, who has the better verse, who wants to attack this beast first of a production-wise. And this is where Withdrawals kind of Ruby takes a stab at the people that kind of doubted them and doubted what they could do. Kind of says, who's Ruby the Cherry? Let the internet keep guessing. That's always the fucking lesson. The less you have, the more you're getting. Suicide G59, I'm guessing all the blogs slept in. It's great to see that Suicide Boys are so successful in their field, in their craft, being able to play global shows from just being internet rappers is amazing. I mean, that's incredible. And I'm not saying internet rappers as a bad thing. I'm saying it's amazing what people can do, just two creative minds put together. The way that Ruby expresses himself, the way that Scrim expresses himself on these verses they're prideful, but they're not arrogant. They don't come off as arrogant, I would say. They come off more as just saying and inspiring. Pictures has a feature from Maxo Cream, who many thought would be on double XL. Not the case. As Wiki said, we keep it classy on XL recordings, not double XL recordings. And the production here shows a real prowess on Scrim, how he's working, how he's changing. The lullaby kind of style of that. It makes for a great backdrop. It makes for a great way that Maxo Cream he fucks up this beat real good. And I mean, all three rappers do, but Maxo Cream really. I just love his verse. I love that line where he goes, "You steady posting with that burner, you ain't shooting, you just taking pictures." And then eventually he goes on to say, 223 through windows, trigger Maxo, bitch, you know my name. Joysticks like Nintendo, since you niggas think that it's a game. Call of Duty tactics with that plastic, shit you like elastic. But the final moments of Pictures bring out, kind of bringing back the waves of the silence. And then Suicide Boys kind of let the Coast of Ashes, which is the 15th saga, just kind of play out. I mean, it's over. They're moving on. So I know it's unorthodox. I know we're working out of order. So we went 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 11, which is goofy as hell, but that's just how I run things. Who cares? So basically, 11 was my favorite Saga because it's so angry, so vengeful, so punky. Is that even a thing people say? I don't know. So 11 Saga was my favorite. It was very this was the final thing for me that I wanted to say. And basically, Nightmare Choir is a fucking messed up piece. It's a messed up piece. It's very good. Probably my favorite song out of the 15. It's just, church choirs always get me. That shit is just so cool, so heavy. And the way that they start spitting is on point. I love the way that Ruby screams in this. I mean, it's just angry. And those samples of the in-between verse where it's like a growl or it's like a rough, like, or like a, it's, I'm not doing it justice. Please go listen to this song. If you take anything from this, Nightmare Choir is sweet. It's very, if you like hardcore music, boom, perfect for you. So that's pretty much it. I would say that the other 2 tracks are very substantial as well. Temple Spray, good ass song. And you are now tuning in to 666.6 FM with DJ Rapture. Also a very good song. The constant machine gun fire in the background, the Trapaholics mixtapes.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Everything about that track is good. It shows Scrim's powerful production, and it shows how Suicide Boys can just totally rip apart a track. Temple Spray is pretty crazy. It's just, if you enjoy their more screaming tracks where they're just yelling, it's kind of back to their like punk roots where Ruby was in a band, he stated. I don't know if Scrim was ever in a band, but kind of going back to their more just shouting, just banshee screams. I like this. It's fun. I mean, it's all free as well. It's 15 tracks for free. You can check it out on their SoundCloud, G59. I think that's what it's called, G59. I know there's a million fake accounts out for Suicide Boys now, which are fucking lame. Just make your own account. But yeah, check it out. I would start with I would go in the order that I picked, like 12, 13, 14, 15, then go back to 11. Because 11's kind of hard to just jump right into it. If you have a chance to catch Suicide Boys live too, they were great. I saw them on the Southside Suicide Tour and they came to Smiling Moose. They were just like fantastic. They blew me away. If I start rambling about all the shit I enjoy, you know where to find the stuff I enjoy. MattsMusicMind.com. I'm probably going to shout myself out. I have exciting news on Monday. Check the site on Monday. This video is supposed to go up on Friday. Who knows if it is? It should. We don't know. So there's some forest. Some more forest. Look at how pretty that is, you know? And if you like to read, check this out. I'm out of here, so I'm gonna go crawl back into the river where I belong. Want to give a birthday shout out to a very special Who Dat Boy. Hey! I don't know why I just did that. Alright, catch you guys later.